Hi, everybody. Erica here. I see you're all lined up with your questions. Noticed that most of the questions seem to be personal as opposed to something else. And, that doesn't surprise me because, of course, when people have the opportunity to get a free reading, they like it. And I see that Shauna Michelle is up first, and she asks her question, but then I love my audience. Then she says, "Oh, I forgot my manners. Good morning, Erica." I love how polite my audience is. You guys are great. So, okay, Shauna, Michelle, this is for you. Now, listen, there are questions in this feed that I may skip. If I skip them, it's because I just don't think that they are for my cards. So don't, you know, take offense. It just is what it is. If I feel like I can rephrase the question in a way that will make it answerable by the cards, I will try to do that. But I noticed a few questions here, and I'm just like, I don't know. So, but anyway, Shauna Michelle, you're not one of those. The question is, will my long distance relationship become an in-person relationship? So I'm assuming that we're talking about something romantic, and therefore I'm going to use the heart, and that will symbolize the relationship. I'm not making any kind of value judgment about it, but I'm just saying that that's what I will use. I'm not going to be flipping the camera up and down because someone brought to my attention the fact that, given that I'm on a different platform, you can't really see all the cards as I lay them out when I do that. So I'm going to hold them up, and I hope you'll trust that these are the cards that I got. Okay, so I'm looking for the heart. Okay, popped right up. So this will be our focus card. And then I'm taking the two that come before it. And the two that come after. Okay. So, Shauna Michelle, we have the whip, we have the tree, we have the heart, and that stands for the relationship. We have the mice, and then we have the woman. I'm going to say that the woman is you, and I'm going to say that, how can I put this delicately on YouTube? So, for relations, if you know what I mean, S relations, this is one of the cards for that. just letting you know. And I, long distance relationships that can be part of a long distance relationship, using the phone, whatever. So they're calling attention to that. Why? I guess that's because that's a big part of the relationship. The thing is that the second card is the tree. And one of the meanings of tree is health. And I'm called to use that meaning. I can mirror it. Remember, the card in the middle is the heart, but I can mirror this tree with the mice. I'm not sure that this is the best relationship in the world that you could have, frankly. The mice is a card, it's like the opposite in some ways of the tree. So I think you could do better by finding someone in person. People who are long distance or can hide behind a screen can tell you whatever they think that you want to hear, correct? So I think what will happen is that over time, now this morphs because I'm looking at it with the woman. I think over time you will start to feel put upon by this relationship, that you're giving less than you're getting. That's what I think. And I think you will be the one to say, okay, if we can't be together in real life, then I'm going to find somebody whom I can be with in real life. So I'm sure that that's not the answer that you want to hear, and it may be down the pike for a while. they say a reason and a season. Maybe this is just a, relationship for a season. And I'm sorry if it's not what you want to hear, but I don't think that this is a long-term thing for you now. Okay, this is Rita Butterfly Wings. I want to know if it would be beneficial for me to take an online course in August. I'm concerned about the cost. By the way, you were right about the June zodiac reading for me. Oh, well, that's good to know. All right, thank you for that. I do those zodiac readings. It's the second time I've done them this July. I find them fun. I hope people find them entertaining and hopefully useful. I am not an astrologer, so. Okay, you want to know about taking this online course. I'm going to use the star because that's the card for online stuff. And, the cost is the cost. You're doing the cost benefit analysis, and you want to know if this particular course would be worth your financial while in the end to do it. So let's look. Okay, so again, we're going to use the star. That will stand for the course. Okay, so this stands for the course. Sorry, stands for the course. And then putting the two cards that come before it and then the two cards that come after it. Okay. So we have the book, the cross, the star, which stands for the course, the fox, and the scythe. Rita, Butterfly Wings, I'm going to tell you to not take it. To take it maybe when you are in a more financially secure position to take it. If I thought it was going to benefit you, the thing itself would benefit you, then I'd say, swallow the course, swallow the cost and take the course. But I don't think so. Here's the book. The book is about things we don't know, but it's followed by the cross. I feel like it's too much sacrifice in this time, in this moment. It's too much sacrifice for you to take this course and find out what you don't know. But it's more than that. The stars in the middle. It's the fact that we have this fox here. I don't love the fox. And then I don't love the scythe either. I think you could come away saying, okay, I paid this money, but what did I get for it? I mean, what was my return on my investment? I just don't think that right now is the right time for this. And, I think you can console yourself by saying, if I wait, I can find something better for me. And even if that better thing costs more, it'll be clear to you that you will get more of a benefit out of it and that it'll be worth the sacrifice. This one, I'm not feeling it for you. Sorry. Okay. Antro 770. Hi, thanks, Erica. How will my follow-up hematologist appointment go on July 16th? I am not a doctor. I don't know why people think I am, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I am not a financial advisor. I am none of those things. But I'll look. Now, for an appointment, I would use the birds. But I think I'm not going to use the birds. I think because you're not really asking about the actual appointment. You're asking about the news that the appointment will give you about your health. So I'm going to use the tree as the focus card and see what's around it. Okay. And again, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor, not a lawyer, not a financial advisor. What did I say? I was looking for the tree. Okay. It's deep in the deck, but that doesn't matter. Here it is. This is your the news that you're going to get from your hematology appointment about your health. So I have clover, I have scythe, I have tree, I have moon, and I have birds. So interesting, birds. Birds was the card I was originally going to look at because that's like for a meeting, but I can mirror birds, which is the last card, with the first card, which is clover. So I do think you'll get some good news. I do. I think you'll get some good news. And then the second card is the scythe. And I can mirror that with the moon. And I think that the scythe is not a bad card here at all. I think it just means that you will be able, as on the basis of whatever information that you get, which I do think will be good news, that you'll be able to make some decisions moving forward about your life, right? I mean, if you are not well, Susan Sontag wrote a great essay about this. It's about the fact that there are two lands that we live in, the land of the ill and the land of the well, and that we cannot simultaneously exist in both. And if you have been sort of living in the land of the ill and making decisions from that place, I feel like you'll be able to make decisions from a new place, the land of the well. So I think you will get good news at this appointment. You can let me know. Amanda Sutton is asking, will my partner Dave get a real job this year? Oh, Amanda, these men, it's a quote from Othello. These men, will Dave get a real job this year? So I'm going to look for the fox, because the fox this time will do a quick costume change, and here it will stand for job. Okay, well, will he get a real job this year? Well, if you're going to have a job, you want it to be a real one, right? Okay, so I'm looking for the fox. Another one that's deep in the deck. As soon as I say that, the card pops up. That always happens. Okay, so this stands for Dave's possible real job. Okay. Okay, so we have fish, we have child, we have the job, we have the mice, and we have the tree. Listen, child and fish together tell me two things. One is that there's not enough money, which is why you would ask the question, of course, right? But also, I'm not sure how mature Dave is when it comes to money, because this is the card for immaturity. Just saying. Okay, we have the fox in the middle that stands for the job. And then we have the mice and the tree. So if a real job to you means, for example, longevity, like a job that, has upward mobility, is permanent as opposed to temporary, etc., I don't think so. Because remember, the mice pull away from. So I think he may be able to cobble together a part-time gig or do a job that is, just a job instead of something that he can be thrilled to open his eyes in the morning and say, oh, I get to go to work today. I don't think it'll be like that. No, I don't see in the foreseeable future him getting what you would call a real job. No. Okay, Connie B. Oh, it's just saying good morning. Good morning. Morrigan Witch. I'm glad that you're here. I know that you are in the UK, and I wanted to do this at a time which is sort of more amenable to people in the UK and Europe. So I'm glad to see you. So let's see. Um, will my year see more joy ahead? All right, I'm going to use the woman card for you, and I'm just going to look and see what's around you with an eye towards how your year will be. And we'll start the year today, right? July 5th, 2026. How will your year go? Okay, so just cutting. I had you in mind when I picked this time, so I'm glad that you were able to be here. I know people from all over the world watch. So, okay, here you go. This is you. Okay, so we have the ship, we have the star, we have you, we have the mice, and we have Clover. And before I read, I'm going to pull a card on the mice because you may have heard me say, well, I know you've heard me say, but sometimes the mice are not bad. But you never know. Okay. So clearly you would like to move forward, right? Clearly you would like to be full of hope for the future, and you would like to be moving towards something better than what you're coming from. We have you in the center. Then we have these mice and Clover together. Clover is happiness, but it's kind of fleeting and ephemeral and like Christmas morning excitement, but that's not sustainable really. So you're going to be tempted to sort of go from thing to thing to thing, or maybe event, looking for happiness, but you're only happy for as long as the event lasts. And then we always, of course, then have to come home to ourselves, right? I would have preferred to see a different happiness cards. This is backwards for me on the screen. A different happiness card, one that was more sustained. But anyway, I pulled cards on the mice because I wanted to see, is this the Cinderella mice, which we love, right? Or is it what mice most often are, which is anxiety, worry, sadness, that kind of thing. So we have the stork, the mountain, and the clouds. Listen, I like the stork. The stork is positive change, right? So that's good. But they're followed by the mountain and the clouds. And so I just want to say, you may need some help getting over the hump of what you've been through so that you can find your joy, find your happiness, and not have to sort of, again, flit from thing to thing to thing, searching externally for it. Maybe a session or two with a therapist could help, right? I think you have every good intention in the world, but I think you also could use some help getting perspective on what the past year or more was like, what it was about, what lessons you could have learned from it, aside from the pain of it. What good karmic lessons can you take from it, and how can you move forward? So I think remember that clouds are just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. But thoughts can also solidify and become things if they're not morphed into something else. So I guess instead of, I think slow down. Let yourself feel what you need to feel. Don't try to escape the pain of the past few years, And if you need to get help with that, then I would seek that out. I hope that's good. I mean, think of the wheel of fortune. You're down, but what goes down comes up. And it's just a question of when, and I think you can speed that along by not trying to, ironically, by not trying to outrun it, but by slowing down and taking stock. I hope that's helpful. Lynn Ebert, is the felon receiving a special off-market drug from Eli Lilly that's keeping him alive? I don't know. I don't care. Come on. Whatever. Probably. Let's give that a pass. I think that evil is keeping him alive. On the one hand, I also think he's being kept alive because he came here to put a mirror in front of this country. And until enough people are willing to take off their blindfolds and look in the mirror, we will be in this situation. So I think there are benefits to him being here. I used to say all the time that we live in a fun house, that everybody agrees to act like everything's normal, but nothing is normal and everything is distorted. Well, now all the mirrors in the fun house have been shattered and are in shards. I think that's a very good thing. But it's not the case for everyone. There are still people who think he's God. And so that, together with evil, I think are keeping him alive. If he's getting that drug from Eli Lilly, it's because he's the president of the United States and he's Donald Trump and he has access. So whatever, Okay, let's see what else. Jen Lilly, currently working in the office 4 days a week. The union is negotiating. Will it go back to 2 or even 3 days a week in office soon? Okay, so so you have to be in the office 4 days a week. And I'm assuming that you're hoping that you won't have to go in as often. So I'm going to use the Fox, and I just want to know, I'm asking the Fox in its capacity as the job card. Will the requirements for being in office change as a result of these negotiations? Okay, so we're going to use the Fox because that's the job. Okay. Okay, so, this one card is doing triple duty. Again, we have the mice, the moon, the fox, the bouquet, and the stork. So in a word, I will tell you, yes, I think these negotiations will pay off, and I think that you will not have to be in the office as many as 4 days a week. I think it will be cut down, and I say that because we have the bouquet and the stork. So the working conditions will improve if working conditions for you mean less time in office, more time working at home. So yes, I think that will happen for you. Okay. Just kind of shuffling. Okay. CRK9222. My daughter turns 21 this month. Will she find her professional path? And how can I support her in that? Thank you so much. Well, she'll find it. I think the better question is how can you support her in that? So I'm going to use the moon because the moon is the card for career. And I'm asking how you can support her in finding and following her career path. Although I'm assuming she's found it. Um, no, it's you say, will she find her professional path? We're going to look at how you can support her. So we're looking for the moon. The moon is also mother, so not in Lenormand, but in astrology it is. So but here the moon is her career. Okay. So we have the star, the bear, the moon, your daughter, and then we have the letter. So here's what I want to say. First off, the moon, she will find her career path. This is hope, this is aspiration. I love that for her. I told you that the moon in astrology is the card for the mother, but in Lenormand, the card for the mother is the bear, and that's the second card that shows up. So I love that the universe understands what the question is. How can you, her mother, support her in her career path? I love that. We have the moon in the center, your daughter, and you are close. That's very clear because she and you mirror each other. I love seeing that. I can mirror this aspiration, this hope, right? This intention with the last card, which is the letter. And I'm going to say that, in some ways, the letter is the most frustrating card in all of the Lenormand cards because it could be anything. It could be a bill. It could be a diploma. It could be a letter. It could be, anything. However, I think we're talking about a resume. So I will just tell a brief little anecdote. If you, let's say, your daughter is really good at cleaning, I don't know, toilet bowls with a toothbrush. I mean, nobody can touch her. She is the best. If they had an Academy Award for cleaning toilets with toothbrushes, she would win 10 of them. But she hates it. What should she not do? She should not put that particular skill, as gifted and good at it as she is, she should not put that on her resume. Because if she does, she'll get a great job offer cleaning toilets with a toothbrush. So I think that the way that you can help her is for her to help her, you can help her tailor her resume for the dream job that she wants. And if you don't know how to do that, you can hire somebody who can do that. There are templates that you can find online that will help you do that for free. But I think that the resume is everything, as are letters of recommendation. So if you can, to whatever degree you can be helpful in, spreading the word that she's looking, but more to the point, helping her get that resume tailored so it is the exact job description for what she wants. That's speaking to the universe. That's saying to the universe, um, whose language is vibrational. I'm not just saying I want this. I'm putting it on paper, and I'm leaving out the toilet cleaning thing with the toothbrush because I don't want that. So I think helping her get that resume together will be appreciated, and I think it will be effective because yes, she will find her path and she will do well there. Okay. Okay, Connie B. How will these next 3 weeks go for me? What? I want to take a road trip before school begins. I think you're asking how will the road trip go? That's fine. All right, so I'm assuming you're going to take a road trip for 3 weeks and you want to know how the road trip will go, as opposed to how these next 3 weeks will go. How will this trip go? All right, so you're not going to sail on a ship because it's a road trip, but the card for any kind of trip is the ship. So that's the card that I'm going to look for here. How will your road trip go? Okay. So we're looking for the ship. Okay, so this stands for the road trip, Connie. Well, okay. So I got the bouquet, the letter, the ship, the rider, and the snake. All right. So here's what I think. I mean, for you, this is like your gift before you go back to work. I'm gathering you're a teacher or something or a student, but whatever. This is like your gift to yourself. I think that you have done a very good job in planning out your itinerary. So that's good. Yeah, that's great. In the center, we have the letter. Fourth card is the rider. So I can mirror the rider with the letter. So I feel like, people know to expect you to whatever degree you've had to um, make reservations or all of that. I think you've done all of that stuff really well. But the thing is, the last card is the snake. Snake's not good. So I pulled some clarifiers on the snake because everything looked fine. Like I think on your end, you've done everything a person could do to make this trip a really fun, memorable one. But then we have these clarifiers. We have the anchor, the mice, and the scythe. I think there will be delays, and I think you will have to cut the trip short. So remember that I always say that energy is mutable, meaning changeable. This is just a snapshot in the moment. So, one of two things, or maybe both things. One, if there's holes in your itinerary that you need to sew up, sew them up now. And two, be flexible about the return date. Travel can be a little weird now, given everything, thanks to you know who. But I mean that in this country, if it's in the United States travel or in state travel or whether it's abroad, traveling is kind of weird. You will hit some sort of difficulty. So, I mean, I'm going to say, I don't know, pack an extra pair of underwear, bring some what my mother would call mad money, so that if you have to get a hotel unexpectedly, you've got a card you can put it on or whatever. There will be some sort of hiccup. And I think that the trip will have to be cut short somewhat. You could be proactive about it and say, well, I was going to go for 3 weeks, but now I'll just go for 2. That way you have, shortened the trip and may avoid altogether whatever is going to shorten it for you. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the benefits of reading cards. That's what I would do. I would say, oh, I was going to go for 3 weeks. No, I'm going to go for 2. And that way I can avoid the whole problem. Good luck. Do let me know how that goes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Resilience, 41FYFE, Anyway, you know what I mean. I hope to take, my question is, will I be able to relocate this month to the fireside location? All right, will you be able to relocate? We're going to use the ship for that one as well, because it's about relocation, a move from one place to another. Okay. The way you say the fireside location, it sounds like it's work, but it doesn't matter. We're going to just use the ship, and we're asking about relocation. Okay, so this is potential relocation. Okay, we have crossroads. We have the older man. We have the ship, which is for the relocation, sun, and heart. The way you phrase the question is, will I be able to relocate, which implies that you want to relocate. Sun and heart tell me that you will be able to relocate. So yes, you will be able to relocate. I will say that this is this is about crossroads is choices. So this is choices. I don't know if this is your boss or somebody else that you have to take into account for this decision, but you will be able to relocate. Yes. Okay. Okay, divine inspiration. You know, most people who do this work don't love when people put things in capital letters because it's like shouting. Just so you know, those of you who are like me, a certain age, and maybe didn't know that when you use capital letters, it's like shouting. However, I appreciate the capital letters because I have my reading glasses on, and when they're in capital letters, I can see your questions more easily. So I know my friend Violetta, Psychic Violetta, does the same thing, asks people to put the questions in capital letters. Divine Inspiration 6970. Do you see my second grandson, Tony, being employed at a steady, good paying job in the near future? Thank you so much. Yes, every grandparent's desire, right? Be for your grandson to be in a steady, good paying job. So we are going to use the Fox card again, because that will stand for that job. And we will see if it is coming towards Tony and if Tony is moving towards it. Let's just see. Okay. We're looking for the Fox. Come on, where is it? The next to the last card. Now, because it's the next to the last card, it's not going to be the center card. It's going to be the next to the last card. So I'm putting that there. I'm putting the cards that come before it, which will be 3 of them. And then the last card. All right. We have the heart. We have the older woman. We have the lily, the fox, and the letter. Okay. So the card that's in the center is the lily. And that means that that's the focus card. We wanted it to be the fox, but it wasn't the fox. However, the lily's good. This is the card for peace, ease, security. So I think that Tony will get a good, steady paying job in the next year. You said the near future. I mean, I'm going to say in the next 12 months. Yes, that will happen. Here is the job offer right here. I can mirror it with the heart. So it's something that he loves. We have the second card is this woman. It's not you, but it's some woman who will be influential in him getting this job. But I do see, yes, we'll just say in the next 12 months, he will get a good job. You will be happy. He will be happy. All will be well, and you can breathe. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is Becky Alt. Will my daughter's business, it's called Snarky Rose, take off? She's working so hard to make it successful. So for a business, the card I'm going to use, you can see it back there behind me on my wall, is the card that I added to the system. Lenormand is a 36 card system, but it is a modern convention for deck creators to add cards to the system. I think it's complete in itself, but I bowed to the convention by adding one card to the system. And so it is that scales card. And like all Lenormand cards, it wears different costumes depending on the play that it's in and the story that it's going to tell. But one of the meanings for the scales card would be your own business. Okay, so let's look and see how your daughter's business will go. Okay. And we're looking for my scales card. Boy, that took long enough. But anyway, here it is. So this stands for your daughter's business. Okay, we have clouds, we have the heart, we have the business itself, we have the bouquet, and we have the tree. So here's what I will say. I will say that I see why you're asking, because of course we have clouds in the beginning. And, any new business, there's a, it's tough in the beginning. And this is a tough climate that we're in for anything, any kind of work, anything. But of course, particularly a business. So these are just doubts. Remember, these are just thoughts. That's all the clouds are, just doubts. But as you said, this business is something that she loves. I also think it has to do with something that in some way lends beauty to the world. That could be anything. It can be clothes, it can be jewelry, it can be hair, it can be makeup, anything that lends beauty to the world, but she really loves what she's doing. We have the scales in the middle, and then we have the tree. And so what I want to say is that things may be slow in the beginning, but I think that this is the card also for things being slow, but I do think that they will pick up, and she has to be patient. Hold on, I'm just gonna, yeah. So I drew 3 clarifiers for this tree card. Before a tree even springs up out of the ground, it's got to do a lot of work that we don't see, that it's underground. That expression, as above, so below. So its root system and everything and the root system is kind of replicating what will come up out of the ground that we then will see. So good things are worth waiting for, and they take time. So the message is that you're being given, that she's being given to, is that you can't see it now, because the book is about things we don't know. She can't see it now, but she should rest assured that the business will take off. She's just got to hang in there, hang on to the saddle and stay on the horse, given we got that rider there. And I think that the business will be fine. Just, what do they say? Fake it till you make it. She will make it. It's just going to take time. Robin Davis, thank you for your kind words. And you have a question. Will your grandson Jacob adapt to his new group home? He's 13. So the fact that he's in a group home means that, life's been difficult for him. And so I'm going to use the young man, 13. I'm going to use the child card for him. And we want to know how he will acclimate to the new group home that he's in. Okay. I know that's hard. That's got to be hard for you. All right, so we're going to look for the child, and that will stand for Jacob. And it's the first card. So you know by now, if it's the first card, then it's the first card. That means it's not going to be the center card. And that means that whatever is the center card will be interesting, right? So let's see what I get. Okay, so we have the child, my scales card, the sun, the young woman, and the bouquet. Robin, I'll tell you what, I think that he will have a period of adjustment because that's normal. I also think he's going to love it. And I think that there will be at least one person there, like a teacher or a counselor, um, who will really help him adjust. And I also think that this is a very good placement for him, that it will be a gift to him and a gift to the rest of the family because he will be happy there. So that's really good. I'm glad to see that. Best of luck. Okay, Diane Silvestri is up next. Okay. Diane says, as a new widow, will I find my path to follow? I am rudderless now. Diane, I'm so sorry for your loss. Been where you are, know the feeling, and you are feeling exactly what you're supposed to feel right now. So I know you don't think that that's true, but it is right and normal for you to feel this way. It will not be permanent. Will you find your path? So the card that I'm going to look for is the moon, because the moon is the card for, as all Lenormand cards are, they have multiple meanings. But in this case, the moon is about identity. Your understanding of your right to take up space in the world in the way that you do. And if you were anything like me, you were living a certain life, and that was your goal and your purpose and your intention, and you were good at it and you were doing it, and then boom. And it does leave you feeling unmoored. And so you're having to sort of reinvent yourself. I mean, look at me. I'm doing this work. I'm on a whole different coast, in a different relationship. But it took a long time. I was a widow for years, years and years and years, and spent a lot of time sort of shell-shocked, like what? So I get the feeling, I understand, and let's look and see what the moon wants to tell you. Okay. Okay, so here's the moon. I'm going to say again something I think I said earlier, which is that the cards are like a snapshot in the moment, right? And that's what these feel like to me. So we have child, we have house, we have the moon, we have the whip, and we have the mice again pop up. And I pulled clarifiers on them. I think I'm going to pull some clarifiers on the moon before I read. So please, everybody, bear with me. But I'm a sucker for a widow for obvious reasons. Okay, got it. So the child, you say you're feeling rudderless. This is a new thing. And that is the child card. This is a new thing. I can mirror it with the mice. You're scared, you're anxious, you're worried. All of that is appropriate and normal. There's a lot of things to do when with that are house related, domestic related, that you might not even have known anything about, but now you've had to hit the ground running, right? I remember I might have told this story about how I had to find the deed to the house. I'm like, the deed to the house? I have no idea where it is. But I found it. You put one foot in front of the other. And some days are not, I'm not going to say it gets easier every day, but you make progress every day that you put one foot in front of the other. And so this is just about doing that. The whip is literally just being disciplined enough to put one foot in front of the other. There will be days that you can't even do that, and that's okay, as long as the next day you get up and you try again. Just put one foot in front of the other. So I pulled clarifiers on the moon. And remember, the moon is like, your question, like, who am I? What is my purpose now? Will I find it? And the clarifiers are good. They are the ship, the clover, and the fish. So yes, in terms of your purpose, you will find it. You will move forward. You will be happy again, even happy, like cheered up, cheery, fun, happy. The way that it feels disloyal to you now, to feel that kind of happiness, that won't last. And your partner who passed will be equally happy when that day comes, where you can smile and laugh at a joke and not feel guilty about that. The fish is the card for emotions. Also, money. I think you'll be fine. I think you will be fine. It's just you've got to navigate these emotions, and you've got to be kind to yourself. But at the same time, life goes on for you, and you have to put one foot in front of the other. You're not in the grave. We are still living. Put one foot in front of the other. I pulled clarifiers on the mice as well, and they are clouds, crossroads, and tree. So of course you're feeling stressed out, worried, depressed, anxious, all of that, and unclear, like you can't see through the clouds, but you will, because crossroads is about choices. Can I give you a piece of advice? Don't make any big choices or decisions in your first year of being a widow. Don't do it. I got that advice, and I was very glad that I got that advice. And there were occasions when I did not follow that advice, and I regretted it. So, right now you're moving from this place. Again, it's absolutely appropriate. But everything's backwards for me. You will move forward. You will make choices from a healthy place. It will take time, but you will grow into your new self. Right now, you're just feeling like this, like it's all new and it's all unfamiliar and it's all awful. But if you give it time, and I don't mean to sound like a Hallmark card or I don't know, saying time is the great healer, but it is. Not that the wound will ever be completely healed. But the Japanese talk about being stronger at the broken places, right? They take a vase that's broken and they fill it with gold, and so it's stronger and more beautiful at the broken places. You will discover that about yourself as well. So just don't force it, like force yourself to find your new purpose, especially if you're new at this new thing here. Just put one foot in front of the other, and the clouds will part, the way will be made clear to you when it's time. But you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. Okay. Let's see. 6 minutes more. Jenny Etienne, 5546. Do you see me having to sell my home? And what do you see for the future of my current relationship? Girlfriend, that's called two questions. Why are you asking two questions when the world is lined up here, right? So I am going to ask the cards the first question, and the second one, sorry, you selling your home. So let's look. We'll use the house because that's your home, and we'll see what's around your house, whether you have to sell it. Okay, so here's your house. So we have the rider, we have the coffin, we have the house, we have the cross, we have the birds. I'm going to say yes. Now, but I want to say more than that. So the rider is like news coming in. Birds is advertising and that kind of thing. I would say ask around for an ethical realtor. Sometimes it is quite advantageous to sell a house. I did that after many, many years of widowhood. I finally bit the bullet, sold the house, best thing I could have done. I will say too that for me, and I'm thinking for you, one of the things, selling a house is just a daunting prospect. It's a tough undertaking. And I think you may feel as though you are overrun with possessions that then you have to do something with, right? Because you're not selling the house as is with all your stuff in it. You have to do something with the stuff. And I feel like that's really overwhelming. The cross makes me think that if you had your druthers, you would not sell the house, but that it would be to your advantage to sell it. This is the card of sacrifice. So, yeah. Now I'm going to pull a couple of cards on the house itself. Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't be clearer. So here's the house. You will have to make the decision. Here's you. You will have to make the decision to move. So, again, it can be a daunting prospect. When I sold mine, I was in a new relationship that was long distance. I had to travel overseas and cross country a couple of times. I had to write a book and I was on a deadline. And at the same time, I had to sell my house. But it can be done. It can be done. And it looks like you will have to do it. But I think it's the right decision. All right, I will take one more. Okay, listen, Sandra, yours is not the question that I'm going to take, but I will say a word. Here's your question. Why am I taking things personally? Why am I not remembering to take into consideration so I can better manage challenging interpersonal relationships? You know the answer to that. So you don't need me to do that. If you know you're taking things personally, then choose not to. Tell yourself, oh, I think I'm taking that personally. Let me take a step back. You don't need cards for that one. All right. Will I be able to fix my money troubles? Again, that's up to you, Denise. Whether you tell you, Henry Ford, he was a Nazi adjacent guy. He also gave us the automobile, Ford. So, everybody has their good side, their bad side. He had maybe more bad than good, but whatever. He said something that I always quote here, which is whether you tell yourself you can or you tell yourself you can't, you're right. So, do you have a plan in place to fix your money troubles? Have you consulted a company that can help you do that? um, wishing it and hoping it is not going to be the thing that makes it work. But if you tell yourself you can, then yes, you can. Will it be hard? Maybe. Are there sacrifices attached? Yes, but it's what you tell yourself. Oh, okay. Uh, Linda I don't know how to say your last name, Caravadin, or maybe it's Linda Cara Bowden. I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to answer your question. I lost my best friend of 40 years. She died suddenly 2 years ago. I miss her terribly. Does she have a message for me? So let's look. So, there's a lot of cards I could choose. For example, I could use the dog, and that's the card for friend. And I think I will use that card. I could use the woman card, but I think I'm going to use the dog to symbolize the friendship. And we want to know if your friend Judy, who is passed, has a message for you. If you all want to do me a solid, please make sure you're subscribed. Encourage other people to subscribe. I've lost maybe like 1,000 viewers, but I think it's probably because there were bots in there, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I'm being shadow banned or something. I don't know. But if you want to do me a solid, as I'm doing you this solid, just pass the word about the channel. Please do like, share, subscribe. Okay, this is your friend Judy, Linda. Okay. Okay. So we have the bouquet, the tower, the dog, and that stands for your friend Judy, the woman, and the fish. And I pulled clarifiers on a couple of the cards. So, she feels that the relationship this is the card I can mirror with Fisher about feelings. She feels like you do about the friendship, that it was a gift to both of you. So that's the first thing she wants you to know. Also, she knows that you have felt lonely since she passed. It does get harder to make friends as you age, because people have histories and, they have their little friend group kind of figured out. And then, so it's harder sometimes to make friends. So she's acknowledging your loneliness, right? I pulled cards on her, and we have the young woman, the key, and the mice. And again, this is her saying you were friends from when you were young, and that it was key to both of your enjoyment of life, let's just say. That friendship was key. And it makes sense that you would miss it. Now, she's in spirit, but it doesn't mean that she doesn't remember and miss what you had also. I think that she wants you to know that it's not like she's forgotten you or anything like that. But I will tell you that she is just a thought away, a breath away. And I know that from my own experience, having lost a husband, having lost friends. They are the veil that we talk about. It's not even there. We call it a veil because we, with our physical eye, can't see it. But it kind of doesn't exist. she just changed forms. It's not that she ceases to exist. I pulled cards on the fish as well, because that's, feelings. And I got Clover, Scythe, and Star. And so what she's asking you is, she knows you miss her. She knows, she's asking you to cultivate joy, to make whoops, everything's so backwards for me, to make the decision to be in joy, for her as much as for you. When you experience the warmth of the sun on a beautiful day, she can feel that through you. That's kind of what I mean. Make the decision, because happiness is a decision, joy is a decision. And then to be in hope. And I can mirror this hope card, the star, with the first card, which is the bouquet. I mean, I would tell you that you'll see her again, and you will see her again, but there are so many other ways that you can experience her, even though you can't see her in the flesh. Ask for her to come to you in a dream. That's what this can be about, by the way. That she will come to you. She will give you the gift of coming to you in a dream. So just before you go to sleep, ask. I have that happen to me all the time, not just with my late husband, but with friends. And I wake up and I feel like I had a conversation with them, or like I hugged them, or we were together again. Because again, the veil is not just thin, it's actually non-existent. So she is acknowledging your loneliness. She is asking you, she's saying kind of what I said to someone else, the new widow, which was, there's an expression in the Bible, in the midst of life, we are in death. I always like to flip that. In the midst of death, right, loss, we are in life. And those who have gone on to, their next iteration want us to be fully in life. They are not asking us to accompany them with one foot in the grave. No, but nobody wants that for us. They want us to live, and live more abundantly for their sakes as much as for our sakes. And I think that that's the message that she wants to convey to you. So I hope that was helpful. Listen, it's 12:08 in my neck of the world. I can't even talk. But thank you so much for trusting me to read for you all. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned a little bit about how the cards work, even if I didn't get to your question. I'm sure I'll do this again. I'll do it again when my numbers go up, because I don't know what happened, but they dropped a little bit. So do what you can to help me on that front. And I will see you again here on tomorrow, where I will do my normal thing of looking at all of the stuff that's going on in our world. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate the company and the confidence that you put in me. Take care.